everyone, welcome back to Ormsby Farm, the halfway homestead. So on today's video, we're sitting down and we're gonna chit chat about eggs. So during the month of August, if you've been following me for a while, you know I join in on a challenge called Every Bit Counts Challenge. And that's hosted by Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead. So during the month of August, what the challenge is to can, freeze, preserve, dehydrate something every day for the month of August. So while I've been doing that, I've noticed I've got a lot of eggs and figuring out what in the world to do with them. So today we are going to be talking about the 5 best ways to preserve your eggs, the farm fresh eggs. Now, let me do a disclaimer before we get into the intro. When I talk about this stuff, it is with farm fresh eggs, meaning they came straight from a chicken or straight from a farmer friend. They are not one from the grocery store. You can do a couple of these with eggs from the grocery store, but most of the ones that I'm gonna talk about go to farm fresh eggs, meaning that they have a bloom on them, which I will explain that more into the video. So let's go ahead and get into the intro. But first, if you are new here, hey, I am Casey over at Ormsby Farm, the halfway homestead. I was a city boy that moved out to the country, that moved back to the city, but I'm planning to move back to the country. So if these type of videos interest you, whether it's preserving or backyard chickens or baking from scratch, cooking from scratch, canning, making soap, all of that good stuff, then I hope you will go ahead and subscribe and press the thumb, press the subscribe, and press that bell, because that way YouTube will notify you anytime that I put new videos out to the channel. So let's go ahead and get into the intro and talk about all the different ways that you can preserve eggs.
Hornsby Farms and the halfway homestead.
Alrighty, let's start with the first way of preserving, and that is the countertop method. Now, these are all straight from the coop, so they're unwashed. They still have the bloom intact, and you see some of them are a little bit dirty, some of them are not. This is the way that you would incubate eggs. This is the way that you would water glass, which is another option, is unwashed countertop eggs. Now, it only lasts for 2 to 3 weeks. I start really checking mine about 3 to 4 weeks. As you see, I have a ton of them. But one thing that I like to do is I like to refrigerate them. But I'm not going to wash it. I'm not going to wash that bloom off. You want to keep that bloom intact. And basically what the bloom is it's going to be like a film that's protecting the egg. I just thought this diagram was really cool, so I showed it to you. But what I'm doing is I'm finding the cleanest of these eggs. And so it's hard right about now with rainy season finding some clean eggs. But I'm finding the cleanest of the eggs. I'm putting them in a dozen batch, and we're going to refrigerate them. We're going to put them in the fridge, again, unwashed, and they will last for 3 to 4 months. So I can use them or replace my egg stash that's already in the fridge with these eggs. And what I'm going to do besides covering them up is I'm going to put a date on it. Putting a date on it just reminds me when I like to put down when I actually package them and when they should be used by. One thing to do is you can always float your eggs to make sure they're still good. That's a good way of doing it. Another option, which I've done a lot of this year, is water glassing. Water glassing is a way of preserving eggs with pickling lime and water, and it can last for 12 to 18 months, y'all. It's a great way to preserve eggs. In my gallon jars, I put 3 dozen eggs, and as you see, I have 3 of them. So I have 9 dozen eggs that are ready for winter. One thing about the water glassing of the eggs is sometimes the yolks don't always stay together very well, but don't worry, they still taste the same. All right, here we go. We got a lot of other eggs to preserve, so I'm going to magically just, whoop, they're clean. And we're going to do 2 different options with this. One of the ones that we're going to do is we're going to hard boil and we're going to pickle some eggs. Now, let me tell you, I have never pickled eggs before, so this is the first time that I'm trying it. I've hard boiled plenty of eggs to make like deviled eggs and that kind of stuff. But what you're going to do is you're going to put your eggs and then you're going to bring it up to a boil. And then once they've boiled for 15 minutes, you're going to take it out and put them straight into an ice bath. Now, the ice bath is going to stop the cooking process. It's going to make it easier to peel your eggs. One thing that I have noticed is the older the egg, the easier they peel afterwards. Y'all, it was a struggle doing this one-handed and keeping everything on the camera. But peeling the eggs, if they're older eggs instead of the day of eggs, they're a lot easier to peel and you're going to have more of a uniform look hard-boiled egg. But I'm going to let them sit in this ice-cold water bath probably for another 5 to 10 minutes just to completely cool off. You're going to see the ice is going to slowly start disappearing. And then I'm going to peel them and have them ready for pickling. If you've noticed, my Americanas are laying a bunch right now because you see all the green ones. It's crazy. Alrighty, the next preservation method is we're going to do pickling. I've never done pickling before, so this will be a first for me. But we're using the vinegar, salt, pickling spice. I'm using some dill that is ground. And I'm also using some turmeric just for the color. There's not much of a flavor to it, so you won't taste this, literally just for that pretty greenish color. I'll leave the recipe down below so you won't have to follow me on the screen. But what I'm doing is I'm adding the white vinegar and I'm going to add some water to a heavy bottom pot because we're going to bring it up to a boil. And it's going to be about 2 parts of the vinegar, 1 part of the water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a teaspoon also to get the pickling spice and the salt, put in this mixture and mix it around. Pickling spice is really like coriander, it's some pepper, it's all different type of the yummy dilly flavored spices. You can buy this online. It will also be in my Amazon storefront. There's my salt. I use pink Himalayan salt, but any salt will do. And then I'm also putting in some ground dill to give it that dill pickle kind of flavor. And most people ask, like, what are you going to do with these pickled eggs? Well, when I read online, the pickled eggs can be used to make egg salad, tuna salad, add it to it. You can even then scoop out the inside and make deviled eggs with them. So it's just going to be a really nice thing to have when we're ready for those type of meals in the refrigerator, because that's where you're going to put it. So here I am, I'm mixing up all of the spices and the vinegar and the water, and we're going to bring it up to a boil while I am peeling the eggs. And again, the easiest way to peel the eggs is to make sure they are older farm fresh eggs. The older the eggs, the easier they are to peel. I noticed very soon that I didn't have enough to put it in a half gallon, so I put it back in a quart jar, and I have all of my peeled hard-boiled eggs. I'm trying to put them in there delicately so they don't have any cracks or anything, because you don't really want them to have many cracks since it is going to be sitting in your fridge. But again, the vinegar will help. It's kind of fermenting the eggs as they're flavoring the eggs. I'm putting them in layers, and then I'm going to pour the mixture right on top of it, and then I'm going to let it sit on the counter for an hour. We're going to let it sit for an hour so it can cool down a little bit before we put it in the refrigerator. There it is. The color is so pretty, y'all. Y'all are going to see it. I mean, it looks like a deep, like yellow, greenish kind of color. Pickling eggs, when you put them in the refrigerator, are going to last for 3 to 4 months. So right there with just my clean, unwashed eggs that are in the fridge, that's the same. This method, the next method, is probably my most favorite, and that's freezing. I have these 1-cup molds, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 egg or 2 eggs in each 1-cup mold, and we're going to freeze these like little pucks so that we have them for baking over the winter. Because most recipes are going to call for 2, 3, sometimes even 4 eggs. That way I can pull out a puck, I can defrost it quickly and put that straight into the recipe. And freezing eggs is 10 to 12 months. So it's a really, really good way to preserve your eggs, is putting them in the freezer. And look at those, don't those look so pretty? And definitely keep your eggshells because I use them for the garden in the spring. But we're gonna go put them in the freezer overnight, and then it's a lot easier to pop them out. I definitely like the silicone molds because it's really easy to pop out. And there they are right there. You can see some of the ones. I'm trying to find a 2-egg for you right there on the camera. I'm gonna flip it over. There it is. There's the 2 eggs. And that's how I preserve them that way. There's many different ways that you can freeze stuff. As you see, I do it in casseroles. I do it in quiches. I do it in scrambled eggs inside of a breakfast burrito. There's many, many different ways that you can freeze it. And again, freezing, if they're vacuum sealed or stored in an airtight container, will last 10 to 12 months in the freezer. So these little mini quiches or little mini egg baits that I'm showing you here are going to last all the way through the coldest parts of the month when your hens are slowing down, and they will slow down. I promise you they will. So just like that, you'll have eggs preserved. What way is your favorite way that you like to preserve your eggs? I'd love to know about it. Leave me a comment down in the comment section. I have to say, out of the 5, I really like the freezing ones because they're like this perfect little puck that you could use for baking. So that's probably my favorite. But I haven't got to try the pickled eggs yet because they're still marinating. So anyways, thank you all so much for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you go ahead and subscribe to my channel for my journey back to the homestead, and click the thumbs up, click the subscribe, click the bell, because YouTube will notify you anytime that I put new videos out to my channel. But you can also come over and follow me on social media at Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, all at Ormsby Farms, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all. Be blessed.